Welcome back to another episode.
And if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, hello. I hope you enjoy the video content. Be sure to subscribe if you're not already and hit that like button so that lets us know you like our podcast content.
And hit the notification bell so you never miss a video with Lisa and
I'm
Lucy.
back.
Yay!
Today's episode, we're going to be talking about exactly how much money do you actually need to start a sticker shop? Because this is a pretty common question we get anytime we post like any educational content to our Instagram. People are like, okay, thanks for the info, but how much is this actually going to cost me? And so in this episode, we are going to be breaking it down and telling you what the startup cost might
Of
potentially look like of starting a sticker shop.
Okay, and as you all know, like we are firm believers in the whole lean startup philosophy,
Mhm.
like literally just starting out with whatever you can and then slowly making upgrades over time.
We are very strong believers in, like you said, like starting out super low cost, but we do always reinvest into higher quality. So that's our recommendation is that you start as cheaply as possible and then see if this is even like worthwhile, if you can make a profit from it, and then from there grow your business by
Exactly.
improving your products and whatnot.
Right, because you might think like, "Oh, I need $1,000 to start this business, so I can't even get started because I don't have $1,000." But, like, again, don't forget Lisa was literally a high school student with
I was only a high school
no
student. I
allowance, no nothing.
no allowance. I didn't ask my parents for any money. Like, this is just money that I had from, like, either, like, birthdays or Chinese New Year, I get some money, but, like,
Like, Amazon gift cards kinda stuff.
yeah, like, I was hustling for it, and I it would did not ask my parents for any money.
Like, I remember you told me you did some, like, hustling stuff to get some extra money
Yeah.
on the
I think,
side
like
for
I
it.
think you can, like I was, like, answering surveys or something like
Okay, like,
that.
literally, you can go answer
Yeah.
surveys. The world is your oyster
Yeah,
in terms of like making some side money so
exactly.
that you can get started. Like you don't have to go out and invest $1,000 in one day, which we do
Mhm.
not recommend doing. So,
No, if anything, I would advise against doing that.
okay. So before we start, I am going to make some assumptions that you do own some of these items already. So, for example, I'm going to assume you already have a computer or a laptop and also a phone for, some sort of like smartphone for taking videos slash photos,
Mhm.
posting to social media. Because I mean, you're listening to this podcast or you're watching this YouTube video, so you have some form of way
Right.
of
Accessing the internet, you probably have
yes,
a phone, like,
like
if you don't
hopefully
have
you
a
have
computer
Wi-Fi.
if you don't have a computer, that might be a problem, but we're gonna
Well,
assume that you have a computer.
did you have a like your own computer? I can't remember when you were a high school
Yeah.
student, like your own laptop.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
what? I'm like,
I
I
got a
was up.
MacBook in 10th grade?
Okay, see, y'all, it was very different for me. I had $100 Dell laptop book during high school, only because like I needed it for some of my classes. But I remember it was $100 and it broke after 1 year. So, anyways,
Yikes.
we live different lives. Okay. So we're also gonna assume like you have a desk slash chair. So we're not gonna talk about like, office-esque things like that. We're gonna talk about the things that you would need to start a sticker shop specifically.
Mhm.
Okay. Now that we've
Okay,
established that.
let's go ahead and dive right in. First step, you are gonna need a design software, and that's why I like Silhouette, just Silhouette products in general, because Silhouette Studio is free to download, free to use, like, and it's also super, in my opinion, super straightforward to use. It definitely is not the cutest in terms of, like, being user-friendly, but it's pretty straightforward. If you've ever used MS Paint,
Oh,
then I
yes.
then I think you can figure it out. So,
Yeah, I would
don't
agree. Like
don't
if you
worry.
If you are familiar with MS Paint, which I, I definitely am,
If you
um,
know, then you know.
yeah. Secondly, I did some research on this because I was wondering, like, if you wanted a cutting machine, like, you don't have to purchase a brand new one. And so then I was like, okay, what would a secondhand one cost? I went on eBay, typed in silhouette portrait, boom, lowest one, $65. Like,
Yeah, I feel like you could definitely get away with buying, like, a used silhouette portrait. I think full price, they're 2 I wanna say it was, like, $200 full price. Might be more now because of inflation, but, um, yeah, secondhand is always an option.
secondhand or
Um,
refurbished. I used to
yeah.
buy refurbished everything and like oh, like my last MacBook laptop was refurbished and I used that for 10 years. So,
Oh,
like no shame in the game.
yeah.
It is affordable and so if that is all you can afford, then
Mhm.
that is totally fine.
Yeah. I
You
will
just need
say,
a machine.
yeah, there is a risk of buying secondhand though, in my opinion, because I've tried buying a secondhand silhouette portrait like several years ago and it came damaged. And I don't know if it
And it
was
was
like
from another
damaged.
sticker
It was
shop.
from another sticker shop. I don't know if it's damaged before they had shipped it out, but or if it was, like, damaged while in shipment. Yeah, unknown, but it
But
was definitely a loss for sure. So
did
just
we
be aware.
confront the person? No, we did not.
No, no, I
Oh,
did.
you did? Oh.
I did reach out but they kinda just, like, I mean, like, what can they do?
I guess. The best you could
So
hope for is that it was not, like, intentional and that it was just
right.
damaged in the
Yeah.
shipping process.
Yeah, so I definitely just took a L on that, and I said I was never gonna buy a secondhand silhouette portrait, and so I have not
Okay.
since then.
So there there's 2 sides to the coin. It's really up to you and what your budget allows for, but I am saying, like, there are cheaper
Mhm.
options out
Yeah.
there.
Just
Also,
just beware.
you could if, like, let's say for people who are selling die cut stickers or even, like, sticker sheets, I do think, there are sites that make them, like Sticker Mule, so you don't have to
Mhm.
technically pay for a printer and a cutting machine if you
Mhm.
were wanted to start out that way first.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I definitely know, like, some sticker shops that, like, they draw the designs themselves, but they just, like, order it off of, for example, Sticker Mule as, like, die cuts, and
Mhm.
then they sell that. So
Yeah,
that's
so
also an
then
option.
then you don't have to invest that money into machines, and it's still great quality. Speaking of a color printer,
Mhm.
what did
Yeah,
you use when you got started?
we had a color laser printer already at home, so I was just using that, and it was honestly fine for, like, the first couple of months, but once I was, like, getting orders regularly, I was printing a lot, and, at one point, like, the ink ran out, and I was like, "Oh, no, what am I supposed to do?" Ordered some I wanna say it was, like, knockoff inks.
Yeah,
It
knockoff
wasn't inks,
inks.
knockoff toners off of
Okay.
Amazon, and, like, was using those, and then, like, I don't even know what the actual issue was. This is probably, like, 3 or 4 months into running my sticker shop, but, like, all the sheets that were printing out were, like, super light in color, like, almost faded looking, and, like, I was like, "I don't know what's going on with this printer, like, something's wrong with it." So and I, like, didn't know how to troubleshoot printers back then, so I was like, "You know what? Like, I'm gonna invest in, like, an actual inkjet color printer and not deal with this anymore."
But that's fair
And
enough because by then you had already
mhm,
made money, so it's not like
yeah,
you were pulling this money out of nowhere. It's
mhm,
like
yeah, I was, like, reinvesting the money I had made.
yeah. So I would definitely recommend using whatever you have at home. I'm assuming
Mhm,
I didn't wanna make the assumption in the beginning that you have a printer, 'cause not everyone
mhm.
does, but I feel like most people do,
Maybe, like yeah,
some type of
if
printer, but if you don't,
If you
like,
don't, we looked it
literally
up on Amazon, like, there's
mhm.
definitely cheap ones that you can buy and start with that.
Yeah, like $50, give or
Mhm,
take 10 bucks, honestly, around there. And yes, people will say like, "Okay, but what about the ink?" Generally, when you buy a new printer, it already has ink. And if you were to, print and you sell enough stickers where you run out of ink, maybe that's a good time for you to either reinvest or you can purchase new inks. But by then you've made money.
Right. Yeah. Because the ink should last you a while. It shouldn't be all used up within like, I don't know, a few sheets. Like it should
Exactly.
last you a bit.
Yes. So okay, so what about the sticker paper? What about that?
The sticker paper, I started with just like a 100 pack from Online Labels. I want to say it was like $15 at the time, and then like a little bit of shipping costs, but probably around like 20 bucks to get 100 sheets. And with sticker paper, it gets cheaper the more you buy. So I wasn't sure like how much I was going to need. So I was like, let me just buy a 100 pack and see how this goes. But you can order samples. If you're in the US, you can get free samples from Online Labels and I believe also from Sheet Labels.
Mhm.
So I highly recommend that you get some samples first, and then that way you can also test out what sticker paper you like. For me, I just started with the cheapest sticker paper. That's not what we use anymore, but again, we started low cost. So I was like, just give me the whatever's cheapest.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, and if you are starting out, I'm assuming maybe you don't even know what sticker paper to buy it. So definitely order the samples first so you can figure that out and
Mhm.
create your test products and sell those test products. You could even see like which papers does my customer like the best. Just like experiment. So you don't need to invest a ton of money. Like buy
Mhm.
cartridges and cartridges of paper. Start out
Yeah.
small and
Start out
then
small and then work your way up. Like, I think now we order, like, 10,000 sheets at a time, so definitely just start small.
exactly. And that allows you to experiment as well. So next up, and this is one question that we see is like how much for shipping, and how much for packaging,
Mhm.
which I guess like people aren't always buying envelopes, mailers, so maybe the prices could be unfamiliar to you.
Mhm.
So just looking at like I just typed in mailers, bubble mailers into Google and it brought up Shein, and for at Shein for $1.79, you can get 10 bubble mailers, which I think is really great if you're just starting out. Like, you don't even know if you're going to get 10 orders. I would just spend like less than
Mhm.
$2 so that you're not, investing a ton of money into packaging that you may not even end up using.
Yeah, I think that's also, like, really important is that you don't wanna, like, overbuy so much supplies and whatnot because in case like you don't end up going through with your sticker shop, I don't know, down the line and then you're stuck with all of this product and inventory and like supplies that you have like no use for. So that's also why I recommend like just starting out with less product and less supplies.
Yes. Also, and this is maybe I should add this to our like most expensive learnings, but you might change your products. Like you could start out selling like big sticker sheets, and then you're like, oh no, actually I'm going to sell really small sticker sheets. I don't need these gigantic mailers anymore, or vice versa. We've
Vice
certainly done
versa, like
that.
you or like for example, you start selling like small sticker sheets and you buy all this packaging supplies for like small stickers and then oh down the line you want to switch to like big sticker sheets and then none of your cello bags work for the big sticker sheets or whatever like that's also something to keep in mind, and then in terms of, like, actual sizing of your packaging, make sure that, like, you're thinking about, like, a leeway for your products, so if you're designing, like, for example, if you're designing a sticker sheet that's, like, 5 by 7, you don't wanna buy packaging that's also 5 by 7 because chances are it's not gonna fit in there, especially
Yep.
if someone buys, like, a lot of it. It's, like, a thick stack, and it's not gonna fit into your packaging. So that's definitely a
Yes.
mistake we've made in the past
Okay. I
where
I made that
we're just
mistake.
like yeah.
Recently. I made that mistake recently, not with our stickers, but with my wedding thank you cards. Like,
Uh-huh.
I was like, "Okay, the thank you card is 4 by 6, the picture is 4 by 6, therefore I
Mhm.
only need 4 by 6 envelopes."
Envelopes.
But then, like, I put in, like,
Exactly.
10 pictures, which makes it really thick, And so they
Mhm.
didn't fit, and I had to end up buying brand new envelopes that were bigger in
Yeah.
size. So don't
So
make that mistake.
I've definitely made that mistake plenty of times when I first started Sticker Guru. So just be aware of when you're like, does I feel like it's better that you design your sticker sheet to be smaller than the packaging rather than the other way around because the packaging tends to only be in specific sizes, like 4 by 6 or 5 by 7. So 6 by 9. You want to make sure that your sheets and your stickers are gonna fit in those sizes.
Yes. And then also one more thing about shipping is the shipping labels. As we've said before, like we do use a Rolo now, like a Robo label
Mhm,
printer, which we
mhm.
love. But for a very long time, we did print our labels and cut them
Yeah,
manually and tape them manually. And you know what? Like if I was starting over again, I would 100% start with that
yeah.
because it's free.
There's no reason why you would need a $200 label printer, even a $100 label printer if you're just starting out. Like, just do it the old-fashioned way, you know? Like, there's nothing wrong with using scissors to cut your shipping labels and taping it that way, especially if you're first starting out. Like, you
Yeah,
don't need
because
the best equipment
when
just
you
yet.
have hundreds of orders, like yes, you will save a ton of time.